Hi there, and welcome to the Miracles Happen Fertility Center. I am Maria Rothenberger at drmariarothenberger.com. This is week 50 of the Compassion series for the year 2020. Now moving on into the year 2021 because COVID happened. That was a thing, and I had to skip a couple of weeks. So I am using this book, A Year Living with More Compassion, and I have kind of ripped it up and stuff over the year. So yeah, it's well used. All right, so the quote for this week is written by Paul Gilbert, who's a psychologist, and he wrote of a typical client fear. The theme this week is shame and compassion. Now, shame is a big deal in the fertility world. We have so much shame running through us. And this fear that's written is a very typical client fear indeed. In fact, I think it stops people from calling me or calling therapists or calling coaches. Here's what it says. If I let you get to know me, I might reveal things about me that you don't like. And then I'll feel shame and I will be with somebody who doesn't really like me, but must be nice to me. Really common fear. And of course, interwoven in there is the idea that I must be perfect and I must present all as well. In a chapter of Transcending Infertility, my book that was published last November, there's a chapter on infertility masks. That's that. I must pretend as if all is well, or I will be shamed, or I will be judged poorly or negatively. I won't be liked. I will be viewed as less than. And the biggest of all, I will be pitied. Unless I'm speaking for myself here, but I do see that theme running around the fertility world. Lots of people despise the feeling of pity. I'm going to actually read the entire workup on this particular quote because I think all of it is incredibly relevant. So again, this is written by a psychologist. He says, I've heard this sentiment many times in therapy, especially when working with high shame clients. People have all kinds of reasons for not letting others get too close and for not letting in compassion. The fear of being shamed is a main one. Carrying shame within us can stop us from being compassionate with ourselves. Research has shown that some people really struggle with being open, accepting, or responding to compassion from others. Yes, responding to compassion from others can feel like pity, especially if you pity yourself. That's called projection, when we have a feeling or a thought about ourselves that we think others are thinking or feeling about us. That's called projection. If you pity yourself, you are more likely to believe that others are pitying you too. And it's usually not the case. It's usually a compassion that they're attempting to express that feels like pity, because that's maybe how you feel about yourself. Accepting or responding to compassion from others, or even noticing it, and that many struggle with self-compassion and treating oneself kindly, especially in the context of mistakes or setbacks. There are many reasons for this. A major fear of letting others get to know us is linked to the fear of allowing them to see what's going on in our minds. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Maybe I won't read the whole thing because I think it's imperative, especially in the fertility world, to note that whatever thoughts you are having, they are from the human experience. I do not care how dark those thoughts are. They are part of the human experience. I don't care how much you judge yourself for having the thoughts that you have, whether it's jealousy or envy or wishing something bad on somebody else. It's all part of the human experience. And as I've said many times before, it would be different if you were actually planning to harm somebody else. That would be a different conversation. But the thoughts by themselves, they're just part of the human condition. And I really want to highlight that for you this week in your compassion practice. The compassion practice for this week, my prescription to you, it's again, it's different from the book, but still worth reading. So pick up the book and maybe you'll have a better version than I do. Um, my suggestion for you is to notice when you're having thoughts that are less than, loving for other people and for yourself, and really pause and give yourself license to have them as part of the human experience. You do not need to judge yourself or beat yourself up for having the thoughts that you have or the feelings that you have. Just think them and just feel them. In fact, I find that the best way to move through those difficult thoughts and feelings is to simply experience them and watch them pass. You'll see there's a bell curve in everything, right? So it starts here, it's rumbling here, and it's like, oh my God, now I'm pissed off or sad or upset or I want to like kill somebody. And then you're heading back down the curve over here. And if you just observe that curve, observe the curve. Oh, is that like a podcast title or something? I don't know. Observe the curve. Eventually you'll be on the other side of that intensity and you'll be able to look back going, okay, that was just a typical human experience. If you're able to just allow that to happen, you will be much better for it. You will have judged yourself less. You'll have fewer stress hormones throughout the course of your body because you're just allowing it to happen. You're riding the wave. And this is also part of my book, Transcending Infertility, is letting go, letting go and riding these waves like this. It's completely okay, part of the human experience. So your compassion practice this week, when you're having a difficult thought or feeling, let it happen. Let it happen. And remind yourself, I'm just being human right now. I'm just being human right now, and that's okay. All right, we've got 2 more weeks to go in this compassion series. I am so looking forward to hearing from you. If you have thoughts and if you've experienced an improved sense of compassion for yourself and others over the course of this year, or even just from this one video, I would love to hear what you have to say. Please comment below and don't forget to hit subscribe. All right, I'll see you next week.